Now that you have created and shared a Google document of the Elie Weisel speech, we're going to do a close and critical reading of that speech. What we are going to do is use the text of the speech and look for the following. If you look at the top of the assignment, we are going to highlight puzzling words or phrases. We're going to pose questions in the margin. We're going to write responses in the margins about what the selection is mostly about or the main idea, and then what is the author telling us between the lines. I'm going to demonstrate this for you using Google Documents so you know how to use the feature of Google Documents to complete this close and critical reading. To begin, you need to go back to the Google document that you created where you copied and pasted the Weisel Nobel Speech Prize. You still should have it up in a tab if you've just finished it, so simply click on that tab. One of the things I noticed when I copied and pasted that is there were images, and because of the way it copied and pasted, it did not save the format, and I actually don't need the images of Elie Weisel, so I'm just going to highlight them and click delete so that I can get rid of all of that extra space, so that what I really have is the Nobel Prize speech, which is what I'm looking for. And if you remember our close and critical reading strategies and what we are looking for, we have to identify words that we're unfamiliar with. We have to find the main idea of a particular part of the passage or the entire passage. We have to pose questions that we have in the margin. And we have to look for what the author is telling us between the lines, not explicitly, and we call that inferencing. Just a little hint, one of the things that you could do is go back to your assignment page, and what we're responsible for doing, our close and critical reading strategies, we could actually highlight that, use Control-C to copy it, and then when I go back to the tab where I have my speech, I could add a comment at the top simply by highlighting Nobel Prize speech, and this is actually how we add notes. So if I highlight the Nobel acceptance speech and then I go over to insert, I can insert a comment, and it brings up a box over here. So what I'm going to do is use the Control-V to paste, and now I have what I'm supposed to be doing with the close and critical reading strategies on this speech right here within my speech. So I can highlight puzzling words or phrases, post questions in the margins, write responses in the margins about the main idea, and also identify what the author is telling between the lines. We are going to practice this just with the first paragraph. Your Majesty, Your Royal Highnesses, Your Excellencies, Chairman Ervik, members of the Nobel Committee, ladies and gentlemen. Words of gratitude. First, to our common Creator. This is what the Jewish tradition commands us to do. At special occasions, one is duty-bound to recite the following prayer. Blessed be Thou for having sustained us until this day. Then, thank you, Chairman Ervik, for the depth of your eloquence. So this is the first word I've come across that could be puzzling. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight the word eloquence because I'm not sure what that word means. This is a great strategy for when you are using e-text or online text because a dictionary is built in. After I've highlighted the word eloquence, all I need to do is go over to my toolbar and choose Define. You can see that what pops up on the right-hand side is the definition of eloquence. It's fluent or persuasive speaking or writing. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and highlight the definition, which will allow me to use my Control-C to copy. And then now that I have this highlighted, I still can go over to the Insert tab and choose Comment, and I can paste the definition of the word eloquence. And all I need to do after I've used the Control-V to add the definition is click on the comment button. So now I'm defining the words as I go. So that's the first thing that we have done. We have highlighted puzzling words or phrases. If I think about the previous paragraph, one of the things that comes to me is that if I did not have the background on Elie Wiesel that I did, what I would notice is that he's talking about the Jewish tradition. So my comment is, how is Elie Wiesel related to the Jewish tradition? Is he a practicing Jew? Is he relating this because the speech has to do with Jewish people? So why is he connecting to the Jewish tradition? So we already know how to comment. We simply highlight and then we go to insert a comment, and I can type my question. So my question is, how is Elie Wiesel connected to the Jewish tradition? And if I didn't already have that information, that's something I could look up or something that could be very important to understanding the context of the speech. The next close and critical reading strategy that we're supposed to be looking for is the main idea, or what the selection is mostly about. Now normally this would apply to many paragraphs or a longer paragraph or even the entire speech, but just for demonstration purposes we're just going to use his introduction, and through the 4th paragraph, I am moved, deeply moved by your words, Chairman Arvik, and it is with a profound sense of humility that I accept the honor, the highest there is, that you have chosen to bestow upon me. I know your choice transcends my person. So the main idea about this section right here, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight the entire section so that when we comment, we know that we're including this. So again, I highlight, I want to insert a comment, and then I'm going to label this main idea. And I'll know it's not the main idea of the entire speech, but just the main idea of this particular selection. And what Elie Wiesel is trying to convey is that the Nobel Prize is an honor that goes beyond a specific person. And when I'm done, I'm just going to click on the comment button. And the last close and critical reading strategy we're going to look at will focus on this next paragraph. Do I have the right to represent the multitudes who have perished? Do I have the right to accept this great honor on their behalf? I do not. No one may speak for the dead. No one may interpret their mutilated dreams and visions, and yet I sense their presence. I always do. In this paragraph, Elie Wiesel is trying to convey the sense that as a survivor who is honored for sharing his story as a Holocaust survivor, Wiesel wants us to understand that survivors are not the same as the victims of Holocaust, and it is an uncomfortable position to be put in, that as a survivor they have to represent those who have perished. So I've simply highlighted the paragraph, again gone to insert and comment, and then I can add my comment about my inference right over here in the comment box and click comment. Because you have already shared this with your instructor, and you can confirm that by clicking on share, making sure it's set to anyone who can view the link, and having the link set to share, then every change that you make, your teacher can view just simply by clicking on the link that you've provided. So make sure as you go back to your lesson that in the submission box you have included that link to your Google document and click the submit button. So we'll go to share, make sure we copy the link, and in our submission box use Control V to submit the document. Scroll down to the bottom and make sure we click submit. You will do that after you have created the document, but you need to continue to do a close and critical reading, identifying tricky words, main ideas, questions or comments you have in the margin of the text, and any examples of inferencing over the entire text so that your teacher can evaluate your close and critical reading.